You guys really, really love coming to Australia. I know that, and I know there's a lot of Aussies here who love seeing you guys here as well. Tell us a little bit about that love affair with Australia. What do you love about Australia so much?
Oh man, it's been an awesome journey. We've been a band for 17 years, and definitely our first experience actually being on the ground was Soundwave. So from then on, it's just been amazing, and we've never had a bad show in Australia all the time, and we've consistently come back over and over and over again, no matter what, and it's been sweet. And we did the 10-year anniversary a little while ago there, and I think the Australian shows were the best in the world. Where I told the band that, as far as just the vibe, it was so just, people were just going mental during that anniversary. So but even we toured all the records in between too. We don't always go to every country. We always have Australia, and then we even covered Land on Under, and everybody said they loved it. So that was a risk. That's a hard one to cover, but I felt like we did a good kind of post-hardcore representation of it.
Oh, we did. We all loved it. What made that such a difficult track to cover? Because we have heard some absolutely tragic covers of it over the years, but you guys did an amazing job. So what is it about that track that's so hard to cover?
It's a tough one, So, first of all, I had to understand the words. And some of them are slang that is only known to the culture of Australians, So I needed to just get familiar, really, with the song. So I dug in and I read a couple interviews about the songwriter and what he said, and learned, because when I wanted to sing it right, I wanted to have the right intensity. And I think that's where people go wrong, because there's some heavy topics covered in that song lyrically.
Yep.
Unless you dig, you don't realize that. It's very, it's this fun song that you sing, and it's almost like you feel like you're going on a vacation, or at least from an American standpoint. To us, it was looked at as a fun time, but really it's this cool kind of edgy message song. So when I figured that out, we went to a little more darker rock mode, because we could have went more of like a 311 route on that song, and I still think some people would have liked it, but that's why we went that angle, that more dark kind of just almost metal, because the lyrics, I tried to pay homage to the lyrics.
Yeah. Talking of lyrics, your brand new EP, the lyrics on this absolutely blew me away. It felt like at times I was reading your diary. That's how personal it felt. Tell us a little bit about the lyrics on this album and the songwriting that went into it, because it feels so personal.
Thank you. Over the time, we have, there's a lot of bands out there, and everybody's got a gimmick, Ours has been lyrics from the beginning, from Face Down all the way till now, so I've just tried to stick with that. But all of these songs are directly related to me, so every song is, on the EP, has it's something I went through, or somebody close to me. So I try to really just be as honest as I can and paint that picture, like this is something that I dealt with. This is something, because if somebody close to me goes through something, and I'm trying to be there for them, I'm going through it with them. That's the way great friendships work out. So these are all things that either I went through directly, or something I'm going through currently, or helping somebody through. And that's why, in my opinion, there's a bit of urgency to it, because it's an urgent time right now. It's just very across the board, no matter how you want to look at it. It's just strange times, man.
Yeah, definitely. We're in stage 4 lockdown again here at the moment in Melbourne, and listening to Please Unfriend Me, I just found those words really, really resonated with me. Is that something that you guys have really realized, that this album is coming out at a time when a lot of people are going through the toughest times that they'll ever go through in their life?
I know, I have thought about that, and I too am also going through that time, and I'm going through it with you right now.
Yep.
And here we are talking to each other from across the world, and that's cool, at least,
Yeah.
So it's been weird, man, and tough, and that's the one song I'm really glad that you mentioned it. We actually wrote that one. That one is super, super fresh. That mix wasn't even mixed until about 30 days ago. So that song was written in quarantine. So those feelings in that one in particular, I'm literally describing what it feels like to be in quarantine and then just see all of this madness, and how the title is how I reacted. Like I've been getting these feelings like, geez, just please unfriend me, because I don't have the heart to unfriend people. So I find myself just sitting there. You know what? I really hope that guy unfriends me. So somehow you were able to immediately adapt or relate to that, because you too are in quarantine. So I really tried to just write. I tried to be a guy who was writing about how it felt right now, and that's what that song's about. That's how I feel right now.
Yeah. How difficult has lockdown been for you? Like, how has it changed your everyday life, and how has it affected the band, aside from the fact that you guys can't get out and do shows at the moment?
Well, for a band like our band, that is a touring band, we've been to the tops of some of the highest mountains that a band can go as far as how you chart success, and we've been all the way to the bottom and everywhere in between. And that's what happens when you're together for 17 years. But that whole time we've toured 17 years straight. We have had dates on the books and we have toured. So this is the first time ever we've been parked. So I mean, some bands take a year off here or there. So for us it's been definitely I don't want to say devastating, but it's actually been really emotionally damaging. When I talk to the guys, we've never been apart from each other this long. So it's we're dealing with like everybody else, trying to stay connected with group threads and Zoom meetings, and we're doing all the things that everybody else is doing, and it's affected me definitely. As far as the way I'm used to living is touring most of the year, at least half of the year. So being home definitely is worth it. We all agree that's why we've stayed separate. We haven't met up or anything, because we want to be safe and we want to do the right thing. And we have family members that are, elders, and we're concerned about them. So everybody has their own decision to make, but that's something that we decided as a family. And so far, and I have a big family because we all made that decision together. None of us or anyone in that circle has been afflicted yet. So, just trying to stay safe, man. But we were able to write a song together, Please Unfriend Me, and still slap that on the EP. Yeah,
it's a bit of a strange time here in Australia, because some states have completely reopened. Perth had their first metal gig on the weekend, but here in Melbourne it's still stage 4 lockdown, so we've got nothing on. Have they given you guys a kind of time frame about when you might be able to get out and start doing shows again?
That's a good question. So as far as regular life goes, where I live in San Bernardino, California, it's pretty much business as usual. I mean, people are out working, drive-through, food places are running, people are doing shopping and stuff. They're just all wearing masks. They're social distancing, they're using hand sanitizer and all that. So regular life, as regular as it can be, that's what's so odd about all this, seems to be normal. But anybody who wants to do anything with a gathering of 50 people or larger has been completely stopped. So I have heard, and you can see on the internet, that there's a couple shows going on here or there. But as far as like legitimate touring, nobody really knows what's going on right now. That's the truth. The industry is really just kind of at a standstill, and they're waiting and watching, cautiously optimistic, but also not wanting to jump the gun, because if you're really an artist, if you really believe in what you're trying to say, you want to always make sure your fans are safe. That's true. And like, no matter how many, some people might not believe that, a lot of artists really want to make sure their fans are safe. So that's the reason why the whole industry hasn't just started touring again. Trust me when I tell you, everybody needs money. If you can think of a band name or a management company name or a touring agency name, they will put their hand up right now and say, we need the money, because we've all been stalled. We've all been laid off, basically, for 6 months. So it's not about that, So if you see shows going on, that's cool. Everybody does what they have to do, but most of the artists are united in just wanting to wait until we know absolutely that our fans aren't going to get sick if they come see us live.
Definitely. And talking of happier times, a long time ago in a galaxy called LA, that is such a beautiful song. I believe that's about you meeting your wife. Is that true?
It is. Man, I'm glad you brought that one up, because it's so fun to sing. It's such a good time. And the long story short is she's also a producer, and she works Pro Tools. She's a music engineer. So I was flown in to meet a song. I was writing a song. I was flown in to write a song for an artist, and she was working on the producer team. And there you go. Literally, the song picks up right after that. That's kind of like what happened after we all got off work that night. And fast forward now, we've been married 5 years. We got a kid named Wolfgang, who's 3.5 years old, and life is good, man.
Definitely. I'm amazed at the way that you write lyrics like that, because it's like you can capture a moment in a way that so few songwriters can. Tell us a little bit about your songwriting process. Like, how long does it take you to write a track like that? And do you need to be in the right headspace to write a track, or how does that songwriting process work for you?
That's a good question. It is different for every song, but that song in particular, a long time ago in a galaxy called LA, I started singing it, the very, very first line, and I just started remembering what happened. And then I thought it would be funny because my wife, we know each other really well right now. We've been married a long time and we have a child and all that. But on this night, we didn't know each other that well. So I thought it would be funny if I was just super vulnerable and told her all the funny things that I was feeling. Because a lot of people think that when you're in a band, you're some kind of ladies' man or you're some kind of romancer. Not me, man. I'm a video game dork. I basically stay inside all the time. I record long hours into the night, so I hardly see the daylight. Like, that's me as a single man. I was never the out on the town guy. I was never looked at as any kind of a romancer. So when I met her, I was intimidated because she's beautiful and she's smart. So I just tried to tap into that. I tried to remember exactly how I felt when I first saw her, and then boom, it started coming out in a really fun, playful, but accurate way. And even when I played it for her, I think I just wanted to impress her. That's what it's always about, right? Impressing the girl.
Yep.
Even when I played it for her, she was like, wow, this really is how it felt, but I didn't know that you were feeling that way. And she smiled, and you know what? That's all I really wanted. It wound up making the EP, which is great, but it could have been just a secret song that I wrote for her, because I do that as well. So I'm really glad the band liked it and it made the EP.
Yeah. You mentioned before that Please Unfriend Me was only mixed about 30 days ago. What was the recording process like for this album? Because I think this album has some of Josh and Randy's finest work on it. So what was the recording process like for this EP?
Thank you. I do also agree that Josh and Randy both killed it. Everybody killed it. And, this EP I produced, so I'm lead producer, and John Espy, our drummer, he mixed it. So including Please Unfriend Me, nothing changed as far as the chain of command goes, but what's different is all of the music other than the vocals we recorded in the tour bus on our last tour in 2019, other than Unfriend Me. So the other 5 tracks, we did all that music while we were on tour, and that's the first time we've ever done that. And the reason why we were able to do that is because the singer is the producer and the drummer is the mixer, and we brought all of our gear onto the bus. So when you walk in a bus, it's usually food, beer bottles, all this stuff. When you walked on our bus, it was gear, cables going everywhere, interfaces, guitars plugged in, multiple DAWs and workstations all running at the same time. It was madness. It looked like a mad scientist's house, but we banged it out, and we were really happy with it because we were all together and we were on the road, and we shared ideas and all that. So Please Unfriend Me, we just tapped into that same vibe, but we emailed each other's tracks. Luckily, we were all just kind of still on that vibe because we hadn't even really jammed again since then. So we picked up where we left off just via email, and we're able to put one last one together. But Josh and Randy did shine on this EP, as well as John the mixer, I think. I mean, the mix is really good, and that's our drummer who mixed that. We're proud of that.
Wow, it's amazing. Mate, I know we're running out of time very, very quickly, so is there anything you would like to say to your Australian fans out there before they go out and grab the EP over the next few weeks?
First, I just want to say thank you. It's not a lie whatsoever. Australia has always supported us. Every single time I check my stats on these apps called Apple Music and Spotify, Australia is right up there. I mean, you guys are always at the top. I really appreciate it. And I think that if you give this new EP a try, you're really going to love it. The Emergency EP comes out Friday.
Awesome. Well, mate, thank you so much for chatting to us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. I know that even having you on the show this week is going to bring a lot of joy to a lot of Aussie fans out there. So thank you so much for chatting to us.
Thank you, man. Thanks again for having me. You guys, God bless you over there. Stay safe and good luck.
Thanks, mate. All right. Well, hopefully we do get to see you in Australia sometime soon. But until then, stay safe. And I know we'll talk again soon.
Sounds good. Right now we are supposed to be there next September with Boys Like Girls. So as long as nothing goes wrong, it's going to be a killer show.
Awesome. All right, mate. Thank you so much for that. Stay safe. We'll talk soon.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.